masks on. You know, the interesting thing for me is that back in the day, when you're looking at, say, the war in Vietnam and America, pop music was at the centre of a lot of the demonstrations, whether Joan Baez or Buffalo Springfield or Bob Dylan or whoever it was. And people, in a way, they kind of expected the pop culture to have a view. They expected it to be kicking against the traces. Yeah. And I agree with you. I mean, whether it's because a lot of artists are signed to major labels and major labels are owned by co-opted, or whether it's major management, major publishing, I don't know. But our independent, because we're independent completely, and we've chosen that route, we can pretty much say what we want. We don't have to explain ourselves to anybody.
You don't belong to the man, which is rare indeed.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we did make that decision quite consciously back in the mid-90s, when we were sort of in the belly of the beast, particularly in America, because sexy was so huge, and we were being wined and dined by Hollywood's, you know, elite, I suppose you'd call them, and we really, looking back, we should have been as happy as pigs in shit, but we weren't. No. And we couldn't wait to get home. We couldn't wait to or get back to the hotel. Yeah. The endless press, the endless attention. If I'd been asked 2 years before, would you want that? I would have gone, yes, of course I want that. Once we got into it, I thought, I don't want this. This has nothing to do with music. We're not playing. All we're doing is waving and being famous and getting photographs with lots of famous people. And we should, you know, if we were really money hungry and ambitious, we would have stayed in LA and worked that scene. That's what we would have done. But I guess that's not us. And so when we got back, and then we did our remarkably disastrous second album.
That difficult second album.
Tell us about the second album, the difficult death.
Oh, lordy. Thereby hangs a tale.
Bizarrely, the second album actually sold reasonably well.
Reviews were good.
Yeah, but the trouble is, compared to the first album, it did appallingly. Yeah. If it'd been our first album, everyone said that's a pretty good start. Yeah. But because Up and those songs were so big, the second album just didn't stand a prayer. No. And radio were already bored with us, and the whole Britpop thing was beginning to raise its head. so we were out of sync.
We got bad tempered.
Yeah, and we became difficult.
Did you?
And we didn't like. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we didn't like the industry very much. We didn't like the people we were working with. So we said, let's get away from all this and try and do things ourselves, which we did. But we also made some huge mistakes by ending up with the wrong man, like every band does, wrong management, and you know, we made some classic errors. But overall, what we did hang on to was our ability to do and not do what we wanted to do. Which we've pretty much stuck to. Yeah, we've made some errors, of course, but overall we've done all right.
I watched a documentary yesterday on J.J. Cale, who sadly passed away some years ago, who was a great friend of Eric Clapton, and they were talking to the manager of J.J. Cale, and the manager of J.J. Cale said, I phoned him up one day when he had his first hit record, and I said, you've got a hit record on your hands, you need to get out and promote it. And J.J. Cale's reaction was, well, if I've got a hit record, why can't I stay at home? Which is absolutely right.
Which is exactly right.
It's exactly right. Yeah. You know, and I didn't think like that. I just thought, no, we've got a hit record. Get out there, get out there. But that's J.J. Cale was absolutely right. If I've got a hit record, why do I have to go out and do it? You know.
So, did you make enough from the first? I mean, okay. Imagine I'd made your first album. Would I have made enough to be able to just sit on my ass and just go fox hunting 3 times a week?
If you've done it on your own.
If you've done it on your own, 100%,
yes.
Yeah, you'd live a very good life.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we had to split it
3
ways.
Ours was split 3 ways.
4 ways with the taxman.
Yeah. And also, what was interesting is that what was weird with our careers, in about the mid-90s, our careers started to dive, but our money went up. So we were in this very bizarre situation where we were actually becoming less popular.
Yeah.
But our income was
going up.
Was going up because of the usage of I'm Too Sexy in America.
Yeah.
They wouldn't stop playing it. So it was on something like, now it's done about 50 movies. It's done over 100 commercials or something mad. Yeah. And it was on, I think it was on a Garnier or Lancome or something, Kodak, Ford. It just went mad, and so we had all these really big. It's called a synchronization when somebody uses your song.
Yeah.
So we had all these syncs, and it was a very odd thing. So our careers are going down the toilet, but we're sitting down with our accountant. He says you need to spend some money, and none of the 2 conversations did not balance out at all.
And also we did, when the money thing was beginning to hit us as a kind of reality that we weren't making the money we thought we were, we did comic relief. And now with comic relief, you have to obviously sign over all your income to the charity, which is what you're expected to do, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. That's what we did. That's what we did. But when you see big checks coming in and you think, oh, I could really use that money. I could really use that money. But you have to hand it over. That's what you've done it for.
Yeah.
That is galling. But not, I mean, presumably it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Earmarked. You know, you don't, they can't eat into your general back.
No. It is ring fenced.
It's ring fenced.
That's the word.
Yeah, it is, and it wasn't a major issue. It's just that, you know, at the end of the 90s, I think literally 98, 99, our financial wheels came off a little bit, but then we were fortunate enough to do have a big couple of albums in 2001, and it all kicked off again in Europe, and mainly Germany, and so that sort of we dipped momentarily and then we bounced back up again. And we tend to, because we sort of run everything ourselves, we manage our finances. We've managed to hang in there, really. We're not very extravagant.
No.
We did do Richard bought a Ferrari and I bought some silly cars.
Worst thing I ever did.
You know, so we went down that route a little bit, but not for long, because it's not something I'm particularly attracted to. We still have nice cars, but not like a gold Lamborghini, you know, with Fred written on the back.
Is it just a boring red Lamborghini?
Yes. We haven't gone down that route.
Quite low key.
We are quite. And we're both very, very neighbourhood. I'm meant to be living in Barcelona, but because of this, it's been difficult. We're crashing at Richard's at the moment. But both of us, whether I'm in Barcelona or we're here, I live within about 4 blocks. I'm very neighbourhood. I'm one of those people that, you know, that I don't know if you've ever seen in LA, you get these gangs, you know, the Cribs or whoever, and some of them have never seen the sea because they won't leave their neighborhood. So they live in LA, but they've never seen the ocean. Yeah. And I'm a bit like that. Once I'm in my neighborhood, that is it.
You'd be hard pressed to see the ocean from here.
Yes, you would.
You'd have to get up a very, very tall building to see the ocean from
No, I think you've definitely chosen the right path, and you know, I think most people who end up in the music industry actually have a pretty horrible time of it, actually, when I don't get the impression there's much happiness there.